Hello everyone, my name is Abba and welcome to my channel corresponding to information security. So in the last few sessions we have seen how to define the basic stuff about the information security, like information security policy, what is the scope, who should follow that particular policy, who is responsible for creating and maintaining the policy, you know how you're defining the statements about the distribution of policy communication. If there is some cases someone is unable to follow the policy, what are the exceptions and how to mention and where to mention about the exception request and procedure corresponding to that. And so now this is the first section of the policy which we'll define. Now we'll go to the second section where basically we need to define the roles and responsibility of different parties when it comes to the policy. So here we will elaborate in it in too much details that even a layman just read it and able to understand what is the roles and responsibility. Else it may possible someone says I don't know, because your description is quite short, and I'm not able to understand, that's why I didn't follow the policy. So this is a very important section. Let's suppose take a first example. So this is I have just taken the example. So if you think the roles and responsibilities are different, the department names are different in your organization, because here we don't put the person name. Why? Because a person can be replaced and the policy is a long term thing. We do update the policies, but when we define it on the basis of position and designation, not on a basis of individual. So that's what it is. The first position here we are talking about is information security governance team. So what we can say, it comprise of members from the information security office, information technology, digital team, legal team, human resource, asset protection, or corporate communication, along with other corporate execution senior manager. Now, what is the roles and responsibility? Their responsibility is approving information security policy and their subsequent amendments, reviewing report on significant information security incident, cases on non-compliance, and for making the recommendation as required, overseeing the response to information security incident which could potentially have an material impact on the company, reviewing security metrics and trends, assessing information security risk for company, reporting to the audit committee and executive committee. At least you can mention whatever the duration is required. Generally it is once a year. Stay abreast of cybersecurity threat and related trends to different briefing reports, etc. And also the assess the information security of officer in oversighting the information security program. So basically here they are saying this is a committee which consists of different team members, which is having you know expertise in his and her own domain, so that they can help to define the policy or amend the policy and look for the possibilities of its improvement and getting it implemented inside the organization, and also can report the certain things if required to the audit committee or a senior executive. Now here we are talking about multiple teams because we are talking about a committee. So now if we go forward, we'll look for more specific positions than what it can be. It can differ in your organization. So this is only an example which I'm talking about. Like we are talking about the information security officer. What is the responsibility of that? Maybe doing the strategic planning, or identify the security requirements necessary to effectively limit the risk associated with the identified business objective, chairing the information security governance team, developing and maintaining an interpretation of information security policy, developing and implementation of security program training, security metrics, definition, and getting it monitoring on a frequent basis, and then demonstrating it to the audit committee or a senior executive. Information security compliance programs, someone maybe which can be corresponding to development of different compliance activity and programs, doing the vulnerability risk assessment for networks that can be internal or external, wherever the external party is entering into the organization network, taking care of IT security audit of third party who is basically having the access of company's information or the company's assert, developing and implementation of information security response plan, and maybe the final one of the final approvals of the information security policy. So here in detail we have described what are the roles and responsibility of chief information security officer. Generally, this is the person who leads the information security team. So that's why the more responsibility come to this particular designation, because if they are leading the team, they are a part where they can define and design the programs, the I would say the requirements, procedures as per the information security policy, or guiding their team to do that so that it can be followed. So they have a very major role to play in there. The next is the information technology organization. So where their main role is designing, acquisition, and implementation of corporate IT systems in compliance with the approved IT security policies and standards. Operation and support IT system in compliance with approved information security and policies. So as this team is basically taking care of all the information security assets, so here we are more looking into it, their compliance with that, more from a hardware perspective and a software perspective. We can talk about different IT asset management, or let's suppose malware protection, patch management, data encryption, or management of third party services, third party risk assessments, data recovery plans, and all those things comes under this team. So they define each and everything as per the policy requirement. Then come the legal team. So legal team is more into protecting the intellectual property rights. So where they'll provide advice and counsel to the information security policy, information security officer, review all companies contracts and agreement to ensure that the information security issues are addressed, develop policy and security agreement for services provided third party vendors, provide advice and counsel regarding legislation, regulation, and contractual. So this is majorly what how legal team is helping inside the information security policies. Next come the human resource. Like if you're talking about the legal team, it's more or like defining the contracts and handling defining the contracts and agreement with the third party, looking after are they compliant with the policy or not, what type of controls they have they will implement, which can comply with this, will be our legal point of contract, and looking into the intellectual property rights. So here we talk about the human resource. Here they are more responsible how they will assist in developing, distributing, communicating, and enforcing the information security policy, and basically administrating the employee screens and background check process, then notifying the IT services if there is any new employee, so that the policy can be assigned to them, and so that it can be completed as per the required time. Okay, so if there is any vendor, then how to run the vendor orientation program, and inside the orientation program they'll explain the policy requirements, and all those things are under the human resource. Now, now, our next part is coming where we are talking about the asset protection organization. So it is where we are saying how we can safeguard our physical asset. So here we need to define, enforce, and monitor the compliance with identified physical safeguard. Define, maintain, and monitor all the video surveillance, card readers, biometric controls, building access, and act as a primary contact if you are, for any investigation activity if it is required. The next is head of business unit, you can say corporate or some senior person. So their responsibilities, they need to be actively involved into information security governance committee and IT steering committee and provide the guidance on the matter of related to information security. So it means because these are the person who are day to day working there. If they thinks there are few things inside the password, inside the security policy that needs to be changed on the basis of the users, then they should help the organization to know about it so that the appropriate measures can be taken, because policies and procedure are not to restrict the work, is to make them work in a secure environment. So that's why their involvement is very much required. The last is the users. User is basically all the employees, contractors, consultants, temporary workers, part-time workers, vendors. So they all are who need to be comply with the this policy are categorized as a users. So these are the different roles and responsibility. So depend on your organization, you can rename it. Okay, but major these are the roles and responsibilities and how we need to define it in a very elaborative manner while defining the policy. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this, please do like and share the video and subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.